Hi, I'm Tushar, and I'm speaking on behalf of my team with teammates Sambandh, Austin, and Sujana. All right, let's get started because time is money. So here we have the profit analysis where we calculate the profit per minute, throughput time, and customer satisfaction based on different things. So out of all the variants we have, so as you can see, there are 207 ones. And the first one corresponds to 347 traces. And if you look at the top three, it corresponds to 772. And then the filter you can add and remove from here. And then if you look at the first four of them and try to look at the throughput time, you can also do that. And as it turns out, it's 39 minutes instead of 41. Okay, so the next thing is, what does profit per minute means? So profit per minute is the total profit divided by the total throughput time. So for every minute spent on the pizza process, how much profit do you make? Which means if you reduce the minutes, you can definitely make more profit. Then we have the customer satisfaction. So first one is by occurrence, which means how many times someone gave a 0 star or 1 star and so on. As you can see, there are plenty of zeros and ones, which is hurting the company pretty bad. The next thing we have is the average number of events and how that affects the customer satisfaction. So if you have more events, for example, some redundant ones, it's going to hurt the company. And it's almost evident here. And the same is for the throughput time. So out of all the 2,000 pieces orders, most of the ratings which has been given is around 0, 1, and 2, which is really bad. And even the throughput time is 41 minutes. And as you know, for Domino's or some other companies, it's usually 30 minutes or lesser. So something which can be improved. All right, so the next thing we have is process AI, where we have the simple process flow chart, and then we can look at the deviations. For example, what happens if there is a customer crawl in the process? So that results in a plus 4 minute deviation. And meanwhile, we can also look at the causes. For example, which variant is the one which contributes the most? So here we can see it's 4. What customer type affects it the most? And students. And then as you can see, the customer satisfaction is low, which means this is definitely something which needs to be repaired. We can do the similar things for order at the counter and online orders. Next, we go to the conformance. So here we get 33%, and then we add a few violations as like we allow them, which makes it 34%. And the violations we allow is something like you pay before the pizza is starting to get ready, which kind of made sense. And as you can see here, that this is kind of an ideal situation. So therefore, the difference in throughput time is around 18 minutes, which is huge. And as you can also see, the steps per case decreased by 3. So this is the ideal situation where you just have the minimal number of steps, and then you try to minimize the time. However, this may not always be possible because there are always going to be some glitches. Therefore, we have another practical conformance. And in this time we have 87% of them, which is which seems to be like a huge number. So it should probably be around the average. However, this 87% still beats the violating cases by 10 minutes and 2 steps, which means this 87% is still much better than the other 13%. And actually, the other 13% kind of contributes the most towards the 0 and 1 customer satisfaction. So now coming to the suggestions or recommendations, 23% of the phone orders and 53% on the online orders, you call the customer after the order is placed, which is really bad because it takes time. And that also means the order was not placed with proper care. And in fact, 54% of the time, after the crawl was done, they have to restart the preparation process, which means all the time for the initial preparation process is now lost. It's very evident from here, these graphs, that if you reduce the number of events, it's definitely going to help you, especially if it's as high as 10 or more. And similarly for throughput time, if it's more than 50 minutes, it's never going to be a good experience for any customer because the pizza is cold, which means you do need to cut on time. And as you can see here, you definitely need to cut down on the number of occurrences where the satisfaction or the rating is below 3. That's all from our side. Thank you for listening.